Hello, welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics. I'm Connor Chandler alongside Jack Rizzo, and today we're going to be talking about fantasy sleepers for the upcoming fantasy season. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so my big fantasy sleeper for this year, it's a controversial pick, but I like Cordero Patterson from the Falcons. You look at Arthur Smith's history, he is so good with running backs. He turned Derrick Henry into a superstar in Tennessee. He revived Cordero Patterson's career in Atlanta, and he made Tyler Algier a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Yes, they now have Bijan Robinson, but I still think it's worth taking a mid-round pick on Patterson. Not only does he run the ball, he catches the ball well, and he also returns kick returns. And if you get a touchdown in kick returns, that can help with your special teams points for fantasy. Won me a couple games last year. Connor, who is your fantasy sleeper?
That's a little strange considering they already have two quality running backs ahead of them, but I'll allow it. And my fantasy sleeper this year would be Christian Watson. Now you may be saying, hey, he had like a 7-game stretch last year that was kind of awful, but then he started going off. Well, the games he had the most points was after he started getting chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, and then he went off. He got like 5 touchdowns in 2 games. He got a couple 100-yard games, but now that Aaron Rodgers is gone and he's been working out with Jordan Love this whole offseason, so with the rapport that they have now, I think that Christian Watson will be able to be a productive fantasy contributor to your fantasy football championship team. Now, there's always some sleepers that you want, but there's also people that you want to avoid in fantasy drafts. So, Jack, what do you think? Who should we avoid?
Well, first, for Christian Watson, the problem with that is that Jordan Love is not Aaron Rodgers. I think we can all agree on that. And I'm not sure. He's had 1 start in his career. I'm not sure if I feel Watson can be good right away. Maybe a few years down the line, they'll be really good, but I feel like there's going to be some growing pains this year. As for somebody not to draft in fantasy, it's a little tough. But I'm gonna go with Michael Gallup from the Cowboys. He just seems to be injured too much. They already have CeeDee Lamb. They traded for Brandon Cooks so those are gonna be their top 2. Plus they have Tony Pollard, who I think they're gonna probably be a rush first offense, and he's a pretty good pass catcher as well. So I feel like Gallup is like the 4th or the 5th number weapon there in Dallas. I just feel like he's not gonna be able to put up big numbers, and I mean, people might draft him early just because the Cowboys are overhyped. So, who do you think, Connor, is your fantasy bust?
After mulling about it all night last night, I changed my mind from my original pick, and I'm picking Geno Smith because I feel like his season was a one-hit wonder, and now that he's got paid, I feel like we're going to go back to the Jets Geno Smith. And it doesn't matter if they have Jackson Smith-Njigba, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They could have prime Randy Moss on that team, and I still think Geno would probably throw 20 picks this year. So do not draft Geno Smith. Please, listen to me.
I'm a believer in Geno, unlike most people out there. So I think he's gonna be even better with the Smith and Jigba, and Kenny Walker, obviously one of the best young running backs in the league. They drafted Zach Charbonnet to help there in the backfield. They've got a good O-line. I think the Seahawks are going to be a good team in the NFC this year. Oh, and by the way, it's raining cats and dogs out, just like our sponsor, Petco. Get deals off today, 15% off, and make sure your cat or dog never goes hungry.
Go to www.petco.com for more info.
You've been watching the Fantasy Fanatics radio show.
Signing off.